everyone, welcome back to another video on my channel. So I am using display tips today because, to be honest, I'm just getting a bit fed up of doing these exact same 4 nails all the time, so I'm mixing it up a little bit. And because this isn't like a design video as such, I thought it would just make more sense to do it on a practice tip anyway. So I'm going to be showing you 4 different ways of how to apply a medium mixed glitter. This is one that I'm going to be using from Sparkle Supplies UK. It's absolutely beautiful, as you can see. It is called, should have done that before I opened it, Gold Rose, and it's just stunning, honestly, absolutely beautiful. So it's got like pink, you can't really tell because it's holographic, but it's got pink and gold in there. It's just beautiful. So I'm going to show you 4 different ways of using it. So I'm going to use pink champagne as my base colour on all my nails. So I'm going to be doing each nail obviously slightly different to show you different methods, and they all give like different effects, and also everyone, obviously not everyone works the exact same way, so one might work for you and not for someone else, and vice versa. So it's always nice to know multiple ways of using gel, and they all give different effects anyway, so it might just be that you like the look of one effect more than the other. So that's the colour that we're going to be using. It's got like a gold shift to it. It's absolutely beautiful. You can only just about see it on camera, which is quite disappointing, but there we go. So all of these are going to need at least one coat that's like absolutely cured and like just finished and stuff, and then I will use the second coat to do the actual application. So I'm just popping one coat on every single nail, and then I will talk you through what I'm going to do for the next steps to actually apply the glitter. Obviously, a lot of people I've noticed don't actually use medium and chunky grit, that's not what I was trying to say, medium and chunky mix glitters when they use gel, because they don't want it to be rough, or they don't want it to end up too bulky, like different reasons and stuff. So I thought it'd be nice to do a video on a medium mix instead of the usual fine ones, because I do find that fine is typically a lot easier to use, especially when using gel polish and stuff, where you're not like encapsulating it in acrylic. So I thought that'd work quite well as a video. So here we are. So now that these are in the lamp, obviously my first one that I painted is now ready to use. This is such a beautiful colour. I've used it a couple of times lately on clients, and it's just absolutely stunning. It's from Gel Perfection, as always, but yeah, absolutely stunning. So we've got everything obviously we're going to need, our glitter and our base colour done. So the first one that I'm going to do is I'm basically going to sprinkle my glitter over the top of my gel polish. So for this one, I'm actually not going to sprinkle it onto my gel polish colour. I'm going to do 2 coats of the colour just to make sure that my base is nice and opaque like before the glitter even goes on. Because I always explain it in every video that I do any glitter or anything like that with something over the top of a colour. But if you have a similar colour underneath your, I've just realised that my light was somewhere else, sorry. If you have a similar colour underneath what you're popping on, it won't be so obvious if there's like a little gap anywhere or anything like that. So for this one, I'm going to use a little contraption, which is actually made for dip powder, but I find it absolutely brilliant to use for glitter as well. So it looks like this. It's got 2 little pull-out things in it like that. Would help if it would focus. There we go, 2 little pull-out bits. I'm just going to use the top one, but these are super helpful. You can get them from anywhere that does like nail arty bits, like Amazon, Shein, like places like that, eBay probably, AliExpress probably, like, you know, things like that. And what I'm going to pack them into is I'm going to pop a coat of clear builder gel on my nail. Now you don't have to do this step, you can do it into your gel polish, but I just find it's a little bit better. So if I was just doing a gel polish design, I would do it into the gel polish and it wouldn't be a problem. Actually no, saying it, this technique is probably done best with thicker gels and stuff, so hard gels, builder gels, like things like that, just because you're going to need to like sort of encapsulate and stuff as well to make sure it's not lumpy and bumpy. So I'm just going to pop a relatively thin coat of builder gel. Like, I'm not using this builder to actually build anything, like I'm not creating an apex or anything like that, no structure whatsoever. I'm just popping a coat of it down like you would if you were just painting on a coat of colour. But even just that is much thicker than a coat of colour would be, so it makes this process a lot easier. And then I'm just going to get my glitter and I'm just going to tip it over the top of that coat of builder gel. Trying not to make a mess, but failing in the process. And I'm just going to tap off any excess. And then first things first, I'm just going to tap the edges. Obviously you should do this with gloves on, but I'm not clever, so I don't use gloves. And just pop in any bits that may potentially stick out and be rough and sharp and stuff. So I'm just getting rid of those bits. And then if you look at it from an angle, let me just move this out of the way and have a little tidy up quick. If you look at it from an angle, you'll be able to literally see the bits that are sticking up. And now I just like to go in with anything tool, dotting tool, just anything to push them down, and you can literally just use that to pop the pieces flat. And then when it comes to the next step, it's going to be much easier and less difficult to encapsulate those areas and make sure it's all smooth and stuff if you just do this step. It takes a couple of seconds extra, but it's not very long at all that it takes, and it is so worth it because, like I said, next step's much quicker and easier anyway, so you're saving yourself time just at an earlier stage of the nails. So I'm moving it into every direction. I would also do it if it was on a client. Moving it around, as you can see, it's pretty much flat anyway, so that's gone really, really well. So I'm going to pop that into the lamp for a full cure now to cure that coat of builder gel. And then once that's fully cured, I'm just going to get a brush to dust off with, and this will get off any pieces that are above other pieces, like so any bits that haven't stuck basically. And then at this point I'd go in with a file. So I'm going to do it on this tip just as I was if it was a real person. Go in with my hand file, make sure that any bits around the outside that are not stuck down properly or that are overlapping the side walls or free edge, that just make sure that they're gone basically. And if this does create any gaps or anything, it doesn't matter because, like I said, we've put that base colour down that's very similar to the colour of our glitter, so it doesn't matter. And then this is what we're left with, nice and smooth because we did that extra, oh gosh, because we did that extra step of making sure it was smooth. And then I'm going to go in with base coat. I'm going to use a rubber base because they are typically thicker, so will cover much better. And you want to make sure that you're almost like floating your base coat over the top. Look how shiny this glitter is, it's absolutely beautiful. But yeah, you want to make sure that you're floating, and then all that base coat will seep in between every piece of glitter, and it's that process that is going to make it nice and smooth. So I'm just going to do that. I'm not using this rubber base like in a building motion or anything. I'm not putting loads and loads on to be able to use it to really cover it. I'm just floating it over the top, so there's quite a lot on my brush at the start, and then as you can see now I'm just brushing all that excess off, so there is just a normal thin layer of base coat on there. This is what it looks like. You can see from an angle that that has already completely covered it. So that is absolutely brilliant. So I'm going to pop this in the lamp, and then all that's left to do is top coat that one. So I'm going to leave it in the lamp for now and move on to the next one. So this next one, we're going to do something quite similar, but we're going to do it into the actual gel polish this time in a slightly different method as well. So I'm going to get a coat of gel polish. I'm just going to place that all over the nail. And then before I put this in the lamp, that is when we're going to go in with our glitter. So don't cure at this point. Like so. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get a brush. I'm going to use the applicator brush from Magpie, but you can quite literally use any brush for this. It's really not important what brush you use. So what we're going to do basically is we're just going to go into our glitter, but we're going to like almost scoop it up on the brush so it picks up quite a few specks. And then we're just going to pat it on top of the gel polish, but you want to make sure that you're not patting lots of times. You're just picking some up, patting it on, picking some up, patting it on, and so on. Because if you keep picking some up and then keep patting over that wet gel, you're going to get the wet gel onto your brush, and then that will cause problems with your glitter sticking to the gel polish, and it would also mean that your brush is covered in gel, so you're going to be putting the gel on top of your glitter. So just make sure, like as I'm doing this multiple times, I'm twisting my brush around where I know that there's some glitter, to make sure that I'm applying some and not just patting it with my brush. And then once I've done that, this is what it looks like. Again, I'm going to do what I did with the last one. I'm going to pat the sides to make sure that there's no pieces that will be really sharp or stick out or not adhere or anything. And then once I've done that, there's just one piece here that's sticking out. There we go. We're going to do the same process as we did with the first option. We're just going to poke down. Now this process works really, really well if you want sort of like a a semi-opaque effect with your glitter. Like, you don't want every single bit to be covered like it would be if you did it the first way. This is really good if you just want it to be like majority covered, but like be able to see the colour through and stuff. Like, this would be the perfect way to use a different colour underneath, and then obviously a totally different glitter colour on top, and then you could still see the underneath colour poking through. It'd look really effective. I'm just sticking to the same colours just for the ease of the video. So once I'm happy where every piece is, even that bit, trying to anyway. There we go. Yeah, once I'm happy with it, and then I'm going to pop that in the lamp for a full cure, just making sure that all of it is as flat as it can be. And like I said, that makes the next step super easy. So in the meantime, this nail that I first started with is now done. Now, as you can see, when I change this direction, you can see that it's completely flat everywhere. So top coat is going to perfectly just sit on top of this, and it'll still be obviously really smooth. But if at this point you had got little bits sticking up here and there, you could wipe off your tacky layer and give it a buff with a white block or a sanding band, like anything like that. Just something really gentle over the top. Quick file, and then that would be all you'd need to do, because obviously that would smooth it out. You don't want to file it enough where you're going to file the base coat off if you do that step. You just want to file it enough where those little bits sticking up are not going to be a problem anymore. So like I said, I don't have any bits sticking up, which is fab. Which is typically the way, to be fair, when you use this method, because you've obviously already made sure that everything was as flat as it could be before you even base coated. So that coat of base coat really does just smooth everything down. And as you can see, it's still, of course, flat and nice and smooth. So I'm going to pop that in the lamp. And then we're back to this nail here. So again, I'm going to dust off any excess and any bits that are sat on top of the glitter that are not actually stuck to the colour itself will be released, and then it won't go in my base coat. And again, as you can see, nice and flat because we made sure to do that step. And then just going to base coat over the top. If you are doing a builder gel set, obviously to do a builder gel, you don't have to do base coat, like thick builder, then your design on top. You can do your base coat and then this design and then a layer of clear builder on top. Like, you'll still get that strength in the nail, but your clear builder gel will just be elsewhere. It won't be underneath, it'll be on top, but it'll still provide the strength and structure that you need if you build your apex and everything, as you usually would if you did it underneath. So always best, if doing a glitter design, to do it after, because then you don't have your thick builder underneath, then your glitter, and then thick builder on top. Like, you could just do it like that. So obviously this is just base coat. Again, just applied it the same way as the first nail, and this is what it looks like. Super, super smooth. Don't have to do anything with it, just top coat it after this one has been in the lamp. So the third way of using polish is, I'm going to get a palette this time because we're going to get some gel involved. So we're basically just going to make our, what's it called? We're going to make our glitter a gel, basically. So I'm going to get some base coat. I'm going to pop it on my palette. I don't want a major amount because I am just doing a fade on this one. And then we're going to pick some of the glitter up. I'm just going to use a cuticle pusher for this. I'm just going to place that in my gel. Not bothered about being too much in it because I am going to sort of do another sort of method at the same sort of time. How many times do I want to say sort of in that sentence? I'm just going to give that a mix so that gel is encased. No, so the glitter is encased in the gel, and then once I've done that, I'm going to get a brush, and this time I'm going to use, I've got a brush in here somewhere that I use for glitters. I've muddled them all up, so I don't know where it is. I'm just going to use this one because it's the first one I picked up. So I've just got a cheapy brush from Amazon. It was in one of the sets that I bought ages ago. And I'm basically just going to use this as you would a normal gel. So I'm just going to scoop it up. I'm going to do a glitter fade with this one. So I'm going to place the bulk of the glitter gel like at the top of the nail. And I'm going to spread that out. You can do this with any clear gel, by the way. It doesn't have to be base coat. I've just used that because it's what obviously is next to me because I've just used it already. And I'm just going to place that at that cuticle area. like so. Make sure that there's a lot up the top and then just blend it down. I'm going to get rid of that really large piece of glitter there to help me with the blend. So don't put it too thick at the top, because obviously just remember your gel does need to cure. You don't want to overdo it and then not be able to cure your gel properly. So we're just pulling it down like so. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my pot of glitter, and to make this bit up here really dense with glitter so it looks like a good fade instead of just being like about the same from the top to the bottom, I'm going to dip my brush I've just used into it, and I'm going to pat some glitter on top of that area to make sure that it's really, really, really sparkly. And we've got a lot up there. Like so, just patting it down, making sure it's nice and flat. Obviously, it's mixed with gel, so it shouldn't be really sticky up here or anything, unless you've got any that are sat on top of other bits, and then you can just move them anyway. So again, looking at it from all angles, making sure it's all nice and smooth. And then that's what it looks like. So we're going to pop that into the lamp as well for a full cure. And then I'm not going to do the next step of that one on camera because it's the exact same as the other two. I am just going to pop a coat of base coat over the top just to smooth it all out. And then obviously if there was any sticky up bits, which you would like to make sure that there wasn't prior, really, preferably. If there was any sticky up bits, you can literally just file them. So you can put the base coat on like I mentioned earlier and then file. I've just picked up a little blob of this colour. So the last but not least is the easiest one of all, because it couldn't really get any more simple, but I'm going to show you anyway, even though it's a really obvious one. I need to get rid of that little blob of colour that I've just got on there. So let me move this so you can't see that. There we go. So first things first, I'm going to get a couple of specks of glitter in my lid, just a couple, not going overboard. That'll do. So I'm going to get those in my lid, and I'm just going to pop a little bit of gel on the end of my dotting tool just to make it sticky and able to pick things up. And then I'm going to just literally just pick up pieces of glitter and just place them on the nail. I'm going to try and alternate. I've just picked up 2 pieces by accident. I'm just going to get rid of one. I'm going to try and alternate between the 2 colours because obviously I've got gold and pinks in here. So I'm going to pick up one pink and then one gold and so on, and just place them like that. And it's literally just a case of picking up colours, picking up the pieces of glitter and putting them on the nail exactly where you want them. And this is great because you can make the design as easy or as difficult as you want. Like if you want something nice and simple, you can do something like I'm doing. If you want something a bit more intricate where you're going to like create an actual like image with the glitter dots, then you can by all means do that. You could, if you actually had enough time on your hands, cover the whole nail in glitter dots. I don't have enough time to do that right now, but I think that look really effective. So I'm just going to finish this off by doing it like this. I'll do this side and then just quickly do the other side away from the camera. But yeah, this has got to be one of the easiest ways to use glitter because you're literally just placing it exactly where you want it. You can't really go wrong. But I'll finish that off and then pop it in the lamp. And then this one I won't put any base coat on because we've got the tacky layer of the gel polish. So I'm more than happy to use that tacky layer for my top coat to stick to. I don't feel the need to use base coat. There's not anything thick enough for us to need to cover up. So it's just not really necessary. You'd just be making it a bit more long-winded for yourself when you didn't need to. So I'm not going to bother with that step for this nail. But yeah, like I said, just going to quickly do this off camera and then I'll show you. So this is what it looks like finished. Just place them on. I'm going to pop this in the lamp and then I'm going to use Super Gloss, which is a rubber top coat. It's nice and thick like the base coat. So obviously this nail is now done. This is one that we sprinkled. And then I just really now just need to top coat all of the nails. So I'm going to quickly do that off camera because obviously I don't need to teach you how to suck eggs, and then I will show you them all at the end. So just to let you know, this one, I've actually looked at it, and obviously like I've just explained with the tacky layer of that and blah, 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 about that other nail, I'm not even going to pop base coat on this fade one. I am just going to go straight in with my Super Gloss rubber top coat because like I said, it is nice and thick. This nail is super, what's it called anyway, smooth because the glitter is just literally mixed in with gel, so I don't really need to put any base coat over the top because it's already mixed in with it anyway. And as you can see, after applying the top coat, it is definitely smooth, so I don't have anything to worry about there. I'm going to pop that one in. I'm just going to top coat this one that I've just finished, and then I'm done and this video is over, and I will just show you quickly what they all look like. I hope this video was useful. I do find some people do tend to steer away from loose glitter when they work with gels, and I can see why, because I used to be quite scared of it as well, but once you just know what you're doing sort of thing and just get used to it, it's much easier. So here is the finished designs on all of them. So this one was the one, oh, got hiccups. This was the one that we sprinkled. This is the one that we patted on with a brush. This is the one that we mixed with clear and then popped on with a brush as well. And then this is the one where we placed them, of course. So this is what they all look like. You can just about see the difference between these two. You can see the colour through it, but obviously because it's such a similar colour, it's hard to see. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was useful. Let me know down below if you think it was. And I'll be back really soon with another video. Bye!